talk a little bit about the car. I sort of got sidetracked on that one. Because Dorothy told me about she had to sell the car. Grace had to sell the car because she was going back to Ontario, right?
Well, she had already been diagnosed with her tumor, and it was in Victoria in a friend's garage. And my husband and I went and picked it up and took it back to Vancouver and advertised it. And a young man was very interested in it. His name was Andrew Sherlock, and he was in his 20s, probably 25, 26, and he had collected 2 or 3 other Volkswagens. He was very interested in Volkswagens. And he came and was very interested in Grace's car because it was immaculate. She kept it beautifully. And so I phoned Grace and I said, I've got this young man and this is the price he wants to pay, which was, I think, $2,100 or something. And she said, okay, that's fine. And so I sent her the money, and he knew that Grace was dying of this brain tumor. He was the most incredible young man because every time Dorothy and Grace came to visit, and we were staying in Vancouver, Andrew would bring this car over and let Grace see it, and they would chat about.
Make sure she saw it was still in good shape.
Yes,
wow.
Yeah, it was a wonderful relationship, and he actually came to Pender to visit Tom and I as well. A very nice young man with his partner Donna, and then he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Yes, in about probably 4 years after Grace died, he phoned Dorothy and he phoned me and he said, tell me about Grace's brain tumor. What kind was it? Where was it? And I couldn't believe it, and Dorothy couldn't believe it.
No.
It's a little spooky.
It is, yeah.
And he would be young.
Oh, he was in his 30s when he died. So he was from Ontario.
Oh, okay.
So he stayed here, and I saw him. I had coffee with him. He actually brought the Volkswagen out of wraps because he kept it in a cement underground parking lot and kept it under wraps. And he would get this car all organized and come and meet me in the Volkswagen. It was part of the family. That Volkswagen was part of the family. Whenever we saw Volkswagen, yes, absolutely, we kept in touch with him. And then he phoned and said he was moving back to be close to his family, and Donna, his partner, and he were moving back
to Ontario.
And
but this was a number of years after. He wasn't diagnosed until 4 years after Grace had passed away.
Yeah, I would think 3 or 4 years. And then he died within 2 years.
Seemed to be quite predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of a tumor was this? I'm sorry. You said it was a cancerous tumor.
It's called, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's Gio or glioblastoma. And it was the fastest growing cancer. And it was tentacles. Like when a tumor is circular and it's well defined, they can operate.
Yeah.
But Grace's was
just kind of spread out.
Yeah, spread, and it went in tentacles into her brain. So it really wasn't an option. And if she had been operated on, she would have been a vegetable. So and nobody wanted that.
Did he have the same type of tumor?
It was a very fast growing tumor.
So what happened to the car?
He had seizures like Grace had. Well, Donna, his partner, phoned me, and she was devastated because she is in her 30s as well.
Yeah.
And told us that he had died, and his car, was going to his best friend who also lived in Ontario.
So
we don't know what happened to the car.
Yeah. But
so it was in Ontario.
Yes, it's being well after because he was a collector as well.
Yeah.
So it's still around. Outlived its 2 owners.
Wow.
It's probably still around.
It's probably still around. 1966 Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a blue one.
I'm going to find a washer.
I'm going to ask about that now. The family, your mom and your dad, what did they think their daughters?
Well, I was probably 12,
Yeah.
13, so I'm not absolutely positive emotionally how they felt. But the fact that my mom and I would go out with tea towels, and we were thrilled. It gave me goosebumps.
Oh,
Especially when she tipped her wings and she knew we were there. It was a thrill. And to go out to the field and watch her was an absolute thrill for me.
But did your mom ever say anything to you? Or?
No, it was just all enthusiasm. You know, we'd dash outside and when we heard an
Because
aircraft.
it was rare for a woman to want to fly.
Yes.
Had to go and actually do it.
Yeah, but I think my mom was pretty progressive thinking. You know, she wasn't set in her ways.
More so than your dad, maybe.
No, my dad was very quiet.
Okay.
You know, whatever transpired, he didn't voice too many
How many
objections.
years were you a stewardess?
For 2 years, but I worked for Air Canada for 12.
Oh, yeah.
I had to quit when I married. It was the
That a
policy. Changed the year.
On here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, your father was Robert F. Cowely.
Yes.
Have you always lived on Cowely Road?
No.
The road is named after your family?
Yes.
Okay.
And it got gypped because Cowley Road used to go right to Kixuxus.
Yeah. And then somebody decided to change it to Best Road after...
To Cypress Boulevard.
Oh, that way. But
Yeah.
didn't it go straight through?
No, it went around that sharp corner
And then...
and right up to Kixuxus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm going to inquire about it and see why it was changed.
Now, this is, let's talk about this. This is a registered cougar hunter agreement with the government, the BC Game Commission, and your father. And it costs, you get $20 for a bounty at the time. And this is dated the 25th of February, 1952. Right? Yeah. Okay. But have you always lived in Cherry Creek?
I've always lived on Beaver Creek,
Oh,
but the other Cowleys lived here.
oh, okay.
Always lived on Cowley Road.
Are you related?
Most definitely.
Okay. Well, sometimes
Yeah.
families aren't related.
Yeah.
I just interviewed a lady for a couple hours today, and it's Morris, and she's not related to any other Morrises. So your dad, you said, was the first licensed.
Government cougar hunter.
Okay.
We believe.
Okay. As far as you could tell.
Yeah.
How long did he do that? The hunt cougars.
All his life. He got his first cougar when he was 15.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Was he born here?
Yeah.
Okay. When was he born? Do you know?
December 9th, 1917.
Okay. And he passed away.
The year 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
And he passed away the way he wanted. He was at the dump. Because he would go every Tuesday at the dump to shoot crows
Okay.
for them. And he was always a creature of habit. And when he didn't come out at 10:30, they knew something was wrong. So they went down to his blind, and there he was sitting there with the gun across his lap. He was gone.
Heart attack?
We don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. I think it was an aneurysm.
Yeah. Yeah. Your mom?
My mom's still alive, yeah.
Okay. Where is she living now?
She lives in Port,
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of those apartments.
And she's very independent, I would
Oh,
imagine.
yeah, she drives her sidekick everywhere.
Is that you? She comes and gets you? Okay, good. Okay. Now, obviously, your father did guiding as well
Yeah.
around here. And he did that for Everett as well. Okay.
He never threw anything away either.
No, looks like he kept very good records.
What's this one about?
This one is service records.
Oh,
Yes,
right,
have been reviewed by the commission And their decision is attached. No, this is the Canadian pension.
Oh.
This is dated 1945. So that's when he got discharged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was in the Army. Okay. Well, here, you've got a history of him right here.
Oh, this is the eulogy my son wrote.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, well,
That's good. Is this accurate?
totally accurate.
Okay. Well, that's something we could use to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he was a member of the co-op.
Yeah.
What's the number? 7597. No, that's the share. But his co-op number would have been.
I think it was 33.
Yeah. And he's even got a share. They actually issued a share certificate.
Mm-hmm.
When's the date? Well, this is 1999 when they issued that. But he would have been a member a long time.
Yeah. When they first came, he was.
Yeah.
See, he saved all his little doodads.
Yeah. How did your mom adapt to the suddenness of his passing? I mean, because they were married for forever, I guess. Yeah.
54 years.
Yeah.
Well, it was too sudden.
But like you say, he didn't want to waste away.
No.
What happened? Did he have dogs right up to the end?
Yeah, his last little bird dog passed away, and he didn't get any more.
That was before he actually. That was a while before he passed away, though.
Yeah, maybe a year.
Oh, okay, it wasn't that long then.
These are the bounty slips.
Yeah, $20.
It went up to 40.
So yeah, George Holcomb told me that,
Mm-hmm.
or Bill Holcomb rather. Okay, this is his discharge certificate.
Mm-hmm.
To return to civil life. That's what they call it. Yeah, isn't that cute, eh?
Yeah.
And this is dated May the 3rd, 1945.
My dad worked at McLean's Mill all his life.
Yeah, you just go ahead and talk, and I'll tape that. What did he do at McLean Mill? And
He was a hooker.
okay, that sounds kind of weird.
Hook tender.
Okay, a hook tender. Now, how
And a scaler.
you say he worked there all his life?
Mhm.
When would that have been? Like till the mill closed in 1965?
Till he got hurt.
Oh, okay,
Got hurt badly.
okay.
Here they are for $40 now.
Here's something for $120.
That's for 3.
Yeah. There's a lot of cougars here, eh?
Yeah.
So everybody claims to be the greatest cougar hunter. I know Joan Humphrey says her uncle was him and Cougar Brown had a rivalry going.
I think all the cougar hunters did.
No, I think so.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh, this is you here.
Yeah.
That's a nice picture.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. When was that taken? Not that long ago.
No. I was still walking
How long have you been in the wheelchair?
for 2003, 2004 steady.
Okay. So this picture was taken before then.
Yeah.
But here's a membership card. This is from McLean Mill. You're right. He did keep everything. You know, which is he's very methodical. He was very methodical.
Even his old driver's license.
Yeah. Usually you have to turn those in. They don't give them back to you. Well, they certainly don't now. And he was a member of the IWA. And he was a scaler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we know when he started at McLean Mill? Well, hang on a second. October 1948. And that's when, okay, you're hereby appointed acting official scaler for McLean Lumber Company Limited at Smith Road, Alberni. Yeah, and this is 1948 that he became a scaler at McLean Mill.
Mm-hmm. But he was a logger.
Yeah, before that, yeah.
That's when he was trailer.
Well, this is more of the eulogy.
Yeah.
Did you put the book together later? Or?
No, my mom did after.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, this is good because after the bounty was lifted in the 60s, he spent most winter shutdowns cougar hunting with his son-in-law Norm. Yeah, okay. 65 and 80 had what was widely considered to be the finest pack of cougar hounds in the valley. Mm. Yeah. 1969, he purchased his final home, 13 miles from town. So he liked to be out.
Oh, yeah.
Out of town.
As a child, he was a loner.
Oh, is that right? Was it a big family or?
5.
Oh, yeah.
But he was always in the bush.
Okay.
He shot his first deer when he was 11.
Says here, the last cougar Grandpa hunted for bounty was in 1988 for $150.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with Ralph. He went out with the game warden Ralph Escott. Okay. And I also bagged my first cougar with Grandpa the same year. What's his name that wrote this?
Robert Akerley.
Okay. 56 years had passed since his first cougar, and he had bagged well over 100 cougars in that time. Certainly something you can't argue with, eh? He cut the records here.
Mm-hmm.
He always said he wanted to be found out in the woods with his gun in his hand. And like you say, that's the way he wanted to go. Yeah. I guess you can't get much better than that then. Is there any other place there's a copy of this eulogy other than in this book?
I don't know.
Okay. Because it's a good timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, this is a shame because it's so faded.
Yeah. There's not much you can do about these.
And there's 3 cougar here, I think, 3 or 4. Say.
But you know what? They did what they shouldn't have done is they cut the dates off. Yeah,
I know.
And so they got 1948 here.
What's the date on that?
Oh, I'm sorry to read. It's faded.
I'll see if I can see it with a
But somebody's written 1948 here. Now, did he save this scrapbook?
Yeah. 1945.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's 45.
Bainbridge they lived. Shows Robert Cowely of Bainbridge, 5 miles north of Port Alberni. Mm-hmm.
But he grew up at the farm. You know where Lowe's live now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the Cowely homestead.
Oh, okay.
They had 150 acres out there.
Oh, I got this picture, and I never have. I got it from Irv Wilson, and I've been trying to find out who's in that vehicle. Now, he obviously knew, or somebody did, because they cut it out.
Let's have a look.
Don't know to this day. who it is. Although somebody says one of them is George Sheed, but I don't know that for sure.
No.
Do you, so did your mom put this book together?
Yeah.
Okay. And she just got, I guess he saved everything, or she saved everything?
He saved everything. I don't think there's anything in here you have to keep turning.
Yeah, he what did he save? Did he have a method that, did he only save certain things, or?
No, he saved pretty well all of it.
Okay.
Is that the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a grand opening in one of the pictures.
Yeah, and this is the opening of Echo Center.
Yeah. No, these are no good. These are actors.
Yeah.
And that's no good.
Freddie Prinze, Elvis, Pope, the world's tallest woman. Well, he was obviously interested in that one.
Yeah.
Was he tall? Short?
My dad?
Yeah.
He was about 5'8".
Okay. Yeah, he saved different things like, obviously, the Cherry Creek School.
Mm-hmm.
This is Beaver Creek, though.
Yeah.
The Alberni Trading Store, 1912.
This is a pioneer teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, you can't use this stuff. Sometimes, if it's easy enough to read, you can get some information off of it.
Mm-hmm.
That might, but because, I don't know if somebody wrote this. I am
Oh, that's a little girl.
Yeah, in 1980, wrote. Yeah, he said he obviously had a few interests other than cougars. Another cougar downed.
That's Joan Yates.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
That was a cafe downtown, and the building collapsed, and they tore it down. It used to be right on 3rd. There's the Dunnigan Cafe. The old Snarly, but that's the Beaufort. As it looks today, not today. This is the opening of the original hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in that original hospital.
Yeah. When were you born?
March 27th, 43.
Okay, yeah. This is 1962 to 64. Okay, you originally lived in Beaver Creek, right?
No, originally we lived at McLean's Mill.
Right, that's Beaver Creek.
Yeah. And then, because the bus wouldn't come and pick us up to go to school, we had to move on to Beaver Creek Road.
Okay.
So, I was 6 when we moved from there.
Okay. And then you moved from McLean Mill to?
Beaver Creek Road.
Okay. And then how long were you there? Yeah, little Robbie Akerly.
That's my son.
With the hides of 3 cougars shot by his grandfather. There's a lot of cougars, eh?
Yeah. They were beasts, I'll tell you. They would kill all the farm animals. And
Oh, yeah, yeah. It says here that he brought his score for 1964. See, so you get a date. They wrote here March 1964 to 8 cougars. That was in March. So there are some dates.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Danny and Robbie Akerly.
This was my grandfather's.
Okay.
No, my great-grandfather's machine.
With Howard McLean.
Yeah, they had a mill at Bainbridge,
Mm-hmm.
the Cowleys and Sons.
Yeah.
and this was a piece of the equipment.
Okay.
And Howard donated it to the museum in Duncan.
Yeah. Well, because at that time in 1968, we didn't have a museum
No.
here.
But we got it back.
Good. Yeah, good.
That's my grandmother and grandfather.
Yeah. 50 years together.
Yeah.
Good, they left the date on this is 1967 there. 1967.
There's my dad.
There he is. How many dogs did he have?
At one time he had 7.
Okay. Then obviously he just weaned them off a little bit, right? Talk about, I'm just going to tape some of this so I can use it later. Let's just talk about this picture. This was taken when you drove over?
Right around the same week.
Okay. Yeah, we should let people know, just for the sake of argument, you didn't do it in a day or two.
Well, no, like we drove from Port Alberni up as far as we could on the logging road, on the road.
Yeah.
And,
how far would that have been?
wow.
I know I'm asking you to go back 50 years.
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
It was, probably halfway, almost.
Yeah.
And, then we had to walk through. We all parked our cars there.
Yeah.
All the workers that came up.
Yeah.
And we had to walk through from there, and then when we got through to the other side, we got a crummy. So I could come up on a Monday morning
Okay.
and walk through, then we got a crummy into camp. And then,
Where was the camp?
on
On the other side,
yeah,
like on the Tofino, on the Euclid side.
on the Euclid side, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All
And,
right.
and yeah, there was a couple of bunkhouse. Everything was brought in by barge.
Yeah.
But,
How far would you have to walk through?
that was about half an hour, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it'd be quite a ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was quite a little trip.
Yeah.
And so that was Monday morning I came through there, and then Friday night after work I went and got the car and came through, and I had to get these I got these 12-foot planks about 12 inches wide.
Oh, yeah.
And I measured the stringers on the bridge to see which would fit the tread on the car.
Okay, yeah, right.
And then I had to put the planks up onto the stringers because they were just sitting up there on nothing.
Yeah.
And I drove up, and then I had to drive across with hanging out the side door, looking underneath to make sure the tires stayed on the
Holy shit.
stringers.
Which bridge was this then?
I was on Canoe Creek, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I had to take the planks and put them on the other end to get off.
Yeah.
And then there was a rock blast we'd done, and I got out, measured again the tread width, and went down and moved all the rocks to get kind of a thing down.
Yeah.
I got almost to the bottom, and the back wheel kicked a rock up and punctured the gas tank, and the gas gauge.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I managed to get down into. We had a fuel dump on the side there, and I managed to get the car into there and left it, and walked into camp until I took the gas tank off and walked into camp. And Saturday morning, I welded the tank up and took it back out, put it on the car, and drove into camp. And said, okay, I'm going into the pub. Who's coming? And I got these 5 other guys with me, and we drove in there. And that's when all this started.
That's actually when you finished the trip, when you drove in.
Yeah.
With,
So when I said it was 3 days, I mean it was actually a longer period than
yeah,
that, 'cause
well,
it was,
5 days.
well, it was Monday to drive up,
Yeah.
stop, and then a whole week
Yeah.
to the Friday, and but it was the 3-day Monday, Friday, and Saturday
So how did you drove back though the same way you came?
with a lot of help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys at the bunkhouse, they packed up. I went into town. I got I think 5 dozen beer,
Yeah.
and then I got through with the shovel operator up to the main camp through the 2 gates.
Yeah.
And And these guys all heard about this, and they'd all packed me up a separate lunch. I had steak. I had food in the back seat like you wouldn't believe. And so when we got to this rock blast, the one that I'd had trouble with before, there was a new one because Charlie, the foreman, it was straight up, and the other one had been cleared. And he says, "Holy shit!" He says, "Look," he says, "I'll get the drillers in. We'll see what we can do here." So they managed to drill the rock and blast it, and then they got 2 D8 cats and ran the main lines under my car, like back to back, and then pulled the main lines in and lifted the car up off the ground and went up over the rock and dropped me off on the top, and then I carried on out to the Canoe Creek, I guess it was. No, it wasn't. It was the further creek where they parked their cars. I can't remember which one that was. And I put all the beer in the creek and had all these lunches. When the guys got off work, that was on Friday. The guys got off work. We had a big party there.
So when you took the trip over, were you by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. That must have been something to do by yourself.
I was determined.
Obviously. So tell us a little bit. Why did you decide to do it?
Because it was there to be done. Somebody had to be first.
Okay.
And that's why I made the $10 bet with Fern Vincent, the superintendent.
Of the construction company?
Of McEachern, yeah.
Now, they were building the road?
Yeah, I guess they were under contract with BC Forest Products.
Okay. But was the idea that they were going to build a road to go all the way through?
Well, it was done in sections like McMillan Blodell did this end.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when I was working in 56.
Okay.
For McMillan Blodell.
Yeah.
And McEachern was under contract, but he had jobs all over the province. After Cougar, I went to Seymour Inlet, and then I went up to Trutch Island, south of the Charlottes.
Okay.
Up there, we were building a road for microwave tower.
Oh, yeah.
Up all rock and muskeg. What a horrible place. The rain came down in golf ball size at 90 miles an hour. It was wicked.
Your main thing after 50 years is you've obviously driven the road many times since then.
Not a lot. I was up about 2 years ago last time. I think I've been up.
You left town for a while. We should explain that to people. You were gone for a number of years, and you moved back here in 2001. You said?
Yeah. I had 2 trips down to New Zealand, 4.5 years the first time, and 18 years the second time.
Well, so since you've been back in 2001, you've been down to Euclid.
Yeah.
Did you go before that, before you left town the first time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a big difference. And you tell people, well, this is where I had to put the planks on the bridge.
Well, to tell you the truth, a lot of it is unrecognizable. It's so grown up. And because I remember, I told you, on this end I was clearing for the fallers, clearing all the brush and stuff so they could fell the trees. But on the other end, I was clearing for the blasters. And that was wicked. Like some of the, up near high, the rocky parts, had to push all the stuff over the edge. And you never knew what the rock was like underneath. Yeah. So you'd have this huge mound of dirt and trees in front of you, and then all of a sudden it was just gone. And the rock would be like maybe that. And so I could never do it on my own. I had to get another D8 cat behind me and run the 2 main lines together. Yeah. And then we use the main line and the gear to pull a cat back up.
Yeah, well, you can drive the road today and you can see. What about around Kennedy Lake, though? Because that really hasn't changed a whole lot around there.
Not a lot, but I looked for the old campsites and stuff, and everything's grown up. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
But it's...
So, the main idea now, 50 years later, you'd like to know who these 5 guys were that helped you.
Well, not only just those 5 guys, the other guys in the camp, if they're around, Ray, the shovel operator, and Charlie, the foreman, and
the ones that work for McEachern.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the guys you met down in the Euclid in the pub?
I only met the bartender there. Well, I didn't even meet him. He was I didn't know anybody in the Euclid.
Yeah. Because you went and had a drink.
Yeah.
With the 5 guys you had a drink with, those are the guys you sort of...
Yeah, I'd like to see if they're still around. But they...
Were they from Euclid, or they worked for the company?
They worked for the company. I don't know if any of them were actually from Euclid or not. A lot of us drove in, and walked through.
Yeah. So you didn't.
But a lot of them stayed there permanently. But I can't remember any of them actually driving up from Euclid. They were all in the bunkhouses.
Yeah, they seem to come from this side. And then
Or stayed up there.
Yeah.
Some of them never left.
Oh, okay. So they may have lived in Euclid but stayed in the bunkhouses. Because the bunkhouses were still a distance from Euclid, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where would the bunkhouses have been? How far would they have been near?
They were
Kennedy
this
Lake?
side of Kennedy Lake.
Oh, this side. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they didn't come from Euclid. That's why they stayed there.
I don't know. I can remember the garbage dump. That always there was bears there.
Yeah.
And I remember one day there was nothing to do with the cat, so I was driving a Euclid truck, and it was a really boring day, and it was hot, and so I parked the truck and took my canvas water bag, and I was going to go down the river and fill it up, and I asked the shovel operator and a couple of the other drivers, I says, you want me to fill your water thing? They says, yeah. So I'm down there, and there's a bank about maybe 3 feet high, and I'm leaning over the edge because you can't fill those things up until they're saturated, because when they're dry, you just can't fill them. And so I'm splashing these things up and down in the water, and all of a sudden the sink was out. Right, my splashing didn't match the sounds I was hearing. I looked up, and here's this bear charging across the river. I just dropped the bags and ran. But I forgot that bears can run faster uphill than downhill.
Yes.
But I don't know whatever happened. I never looked back.
Anyway, you'd like to see if these guys are around 50 years later.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what happened after I left.
Yeah. And you left that year.
Yeah.